Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell! Give 'em a hand! And let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town, of New York town.
You knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. It felt inevitable that more moves were going to happen tonight. I had plans, was out with family and friends, had to leave such plans once the news broke out. That is the life of being a content creator, wanting to make sure that we are up to date on everything that transpires with this team. And that's the reason why I normally don't go out at all during the winter. And of course, the one time I do, we all knew this was going to happen. I did not know it was going to be Mark Canha, however. This was a surprise, just as much of a surprise as the previous signing earlier of Eduardo Escobar. But yeah, I like this signing a lot, folks. First and foremost, a lot to get into in this one. A lot to get into. We'll be probably running upwards of an hour like last time. But again, just like the Escobar deal, this is, if not better, just as good, to be quite honest with you. And I know it's a little bit higher in regards to AAV at 13 mil or so with a 30-year option, but trust me, what Mark Canha is going to bring to the New York Mets is going to make every Mets fan happy. And if you're still not happy by the time you finish listening, watching this live stream, then I think that you were just watching. It's like reading a book without actually reading, if that makes sense. The writing's right on the wall. All you have to do is start reading it. So we got a lot to get into, folks. I'm pumped. I really like this signing. I really do. And I hope you guys do too, folks. But there's a lot to know about Mark Canha. I know a lot of you guys probably don't know who Mark Canha is, because he's been in Oakland. And naturally, if you're not someone that's watching West Coast games much or anything like that, you might not know who this former Oakland A is, but this guy's an on-base phenom. Think of Brandon Nemo 2.0 in a lot of different ways. A little bit older, but someone that is going to be helping the top of the lineup just like Nemo. And yeah, I got a lot to go into here, and I really, really appreciate everybody chiming in to the nearly 300 viewers. Thank you guys all so much. I see a bunch of donations. We'll be getting to them in a minute, but Timothy, Jubilee, John, thank you for the donut. I'll get into that shortly. Are you kidding me? Snipes, Matthew, Kevin, Larry, Drew, Tim, great member on the channel, Luke, Webbs, Legendary, Miguel, Ravens, BX, Mike, Pepsi, CBT Blaze. Let's going on, my man. CTB, I should say. Thomas, great member on the channel and friend. Sean, Kevin, Insanity, great member. William, great member. Luke, Juan, going down the list further. If I miss your comments, I apologize, folks. Again, we're just diving in. Buzz, thank you so much for the kind words. Christopher, Kevin, Mike, Swap Boy, Timothy, all you guys. Leon, thank you guys so much. Let's get into a couple donations, and we'll go further. Ghostway, you're back. I'm back too. We're back, baby. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we got this is a good deal, man. This is a damn good deal. Shout out to Jolly Olive. Jolly was the first to really propose Mark Canha as a fit for the Mets. He did that when we did our offseason outlooks video. So if you guys want to go back and retouch on that and seeing how that's panning out now, the Mets are actually making moves, make sure to do so. great video. Again, shout out Jolly, because I know that he's really happy about Marquette. I'm sure he'll expand on that further whenever he comes out with his pod with Jerry Blevins. But John with the $5 dono, thank you so much. Thanks for canceling the plans. Hey, this is a good reason to cancel plans at the end of the day. I'm happy that it's positive news and not negative news. That's all that matters to me. Absolutely love doing this. Very happy to be here. Wonder how this affects other outfield moves, bigger moves. OG Biscuit fan. Shout out John with the Biscuit reference. If you know, you know. Thank you so much for the donation. Hype in the chat for my man. But folks, everybody that's first chiming in, first initial reactions to the signing, whether you like it, whether you hate it, whether you feel in between about it, let me know in the live stream right now as we go through. But again, folks, if you guys don't know who Mark Canha is, this is a veteran from the Oakland A's that comes in and is really in a beautiful spot to thrive with the Mets. Now, as we said in the Escobar stream as well, make sure you watch if you didn't, because if you didn't, you're not paying attention. You're not up to date with these Mets, baby. Make sure to check that out. But just like Escobar, it's really going to be interesting to see how this does, in fact, impact the upcoming moves. Does this mean that Mark Canha is going to be someone that's your everyday outfielder in left field? That's a very strong possibility. Does this mean that is someone that they use as a versatility guy in the outfield, maybe coming off the bench? That's possible too. But again, I have a lot to say on this. I have a lot to break down on Mark Canha's game, on why this is an on-base phenom that all you Mets fans are going to fall in love with before you even get the chance to really evaluate the guy. So let's get into it. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for first chiming in. Thank you so much, Tim, with the $5 dono. My man, really appreciate that. Small moves are critical. Big names will come. We aren't done yet. This is just the beginning. Yes, it is. It is just, in fact, the beginning. Tim, thank you again for the donation. Really appreciate that. Hype in the chat to everybody. Hype in the chat to Tim with the $5 dono, folks. Let's get it 300 likes before the end of the stream. We got 350 in here. Thank you, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And again, I know that there's a lot of people in here that feel very suspect about this move to begin with, because when you see a team going after a guy that, when you just look at the basic numbers, you might not be inclined by, his 231 average or, sub 800 OPS. I can understand that. Same way that you would feel that, Escobar, a low on base guy, had a 256 average in 2021. You're not loving it. You have to understand why the Mets make these moves and how they're going to be utilized. Depth is important. This is further depth. This is something that, whether he's utilized as an everyday outfielder or someone that is utilized both as an everyday starter while being mixed as an off the bench type thing, is going to be huge for the Mets going forward. And we're going to find out very soon on how exactly they evaluate everything here. And I do believe that we're going to find some more moves before the weekend ends. As second move of the day, this is 9:50 p.m. Eastern time. I know it happened over an hour ago, but it doesn't matter. It's breaking news. It's happening right now. But folks, let's get into Mark Canha, everybody. Mark Canha, the outfielder, he's played. Let's talk about versatility for a second. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not expect Mark Canha to play first base, but this is a guy that can play 5 different positions, has at least been toyed in 5 different, and that's something that the Oakland A's absolutely love to do. They love versatile type players, and they really try to get the most out of their guys any way that they can keep them in the lineup, especially if you're someone like Mark Canha, who all you do in life, all you do in baseball is get on base. Cue the meme from Moneyball, Brad Pitt, when he's talking about player evaluation for scouting, and then he looks to Jonah Hill, and Jonah saying, he gets on base. See, he gets on base. Mark Canha is the embodiment of Moneyball when it comes to just getting on base and getting runs scored. There's a reason why the guy only had 61 RBIs, but 93 runs scored in 2021. That's obnoxious, okay? Normally, if a guy has that different of a RBI to run score, if that ratio is significant, it is because of the fact that the guy's always getting on base. Just like Brandon Nemo. Brandon Nemo might not get you even 50, 60 RBIs some seasons, but doesn't change the fact that he's always on second base because he got his walk down to first every sprint into the sign of the cross, point up to the stars, right? There's reasons why those players are valuable, and there's reasons why the Mets struggled so much in 2021 because they didn't have enough of them. It's not fun when you have a team that they're all swinging for the fences, but one, they don't even hit the damn fence because they can't hit home runs, and two, you don't have enough consistency with guys that you can get on base to give you success, to be on second, get a runner in scoring position, or something along those lines. Mark Canha helps bring this. That's why we love this. We love having guys on base because you need a balance at the end of the day between having your sluggers, guys that will hit you past that fence, give you a bomb. We need more guys that, not necessarily Pete Alonso types, but just guys that know actually how to hit the home run ball. Eduardo Escobar is one of them. And again, shout out to Baseball Savant, because if Escobar played every game in Citi Field this year, he would have had 41 home runs. So keep that in mind. That's a great pickup in itself. Check out that stream. But Mark Canha is a guy where in 2021, you look at him a little bit down with the average and everything, still a monster on base. This is a guy when you go into his baseball savant. Let's go into it shortly. Then I'll get into a donation here from Thomas. Thank you so much for the dono. Hype in the chat for Thomas with the $5 donation. Hype in the chat to J Real, my man. Dave, great friend and subscriber on the channel. Reginald, great member on the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all you guys. $5 donor from Thomas says the following. Mark Canha, 377, has a higher on-base percentage than Aaron Judge since 2019. Mets still in on Marte. Baez expected to sign by Monday night. You heard it from Thomas, and Thomas is 100% right. According to Michael Mayer and according to multiple reports, the Mets are still in on outfielder who, just like Mark Canha from the Oakland A's, yes, he is still available for the Mets. We'll see if they land him or not. But regardless, this is great security for the Mets to help build this outfield. So shout out to Thomas. He's 100% right in this report. And yeah, I mean, we're not trying to do comparisons here. Yes, we know that Aaron Judge is a far better player than Mark Canha. No one's denying that whatsoever. But the point is that this guy has been an on-base phenom, just like Brandon Nemo. So having both of them, potentially both of them at the top of your order, damn, that feels good. Or you can get creative and have Nemo at 1 and even maybe have a guy like Canha at 9. So that way you can have a back-to-back in that sense. You get creative, but I love this. We're going to deep dive it here more shortly. Thank you again for the donation, Thomas. Love you, buddy. Kevin with the $5 dono. Hype in the chat for Kevin with the $5 dono as well. I know we got to talk about Suzuki. We'll get into him shortly. Don't you guys worry. Dave with the $5 donation. Mets finally doing something. Yes, LFGM. Shout out in the chat to Dave for the $5 dono, my man. Love and appreciate you. But like I said, on base is important. And this is something where you're going to look at it from a forefront and think, oh, this isn't anything crazy. This isn't anything significant. No, this is significant. And these are the type of moves that are going to be huge for the Mets next season. Take a good comparison of the type of trades that the Atlanta Braves did at the MLB trade deadline. Were they blockbuster? No. But were they guys that were more than capable and really kind of under the radar and how they acquired them? They did not give up much prospects, if at all, of significance in acquiring, the Adam Duvall return or the Jock Pearson trade a little bit before that, or the Eddie Rosarios, the Jorge Solers. No, they didn't do anything crazy to land them. But that's the sole reason why they won the World Series, folks. You need to have role players. You need to have guys that understand their role on the club. And depth is important. This is what the Mets are building now. They started last offseason. They clearly need a lot more of it, and they need more quality of it. So if you're doing comparisons for like a Kevin Pillar or a Jonathan Villar, Eduardo Escobar and Mark Canha are that on steroids. Like they are a top tier. They are another level. These are guys that very well can be starting for the Mets, but can also be utilized off the bench, and it's all going to go directly in hand and what the Mets do next year in the offseason. If the Mets say go out and still get other outfielders, then that will give Mark Canha a possibility of trying to crack that outfield and left field, or he'll be a fourth outfielder. I have a feeling that he's going to probably be more starting more often than not, really, because Mark Canha's on base speaks for itself. Normally when you sign a guy like this, it's a little surprising if he's not a starter more often than not. But again, I'm not trying to draw too far into conclusions. We will see what more moves ahead. But Mark Canha at left field, perfectly fine. He's a guy that's played left, center, right in 2021. He's played third base even. He's had a handful. Not a lot, but he's had some experience at third base, more than even some guys on the Mets currently. And also first base. So Mark Canha, you want versatility. That's what you get with a guy like him. Dave with a $2 donation. Thank you so much for the dono. Yankees fan here, but props to y'all. 2 solid pickups. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Hype in the chat to a kind and generous Yankees fan. We don't come across those too often other than our boy Pat at Unhinged Yankees. But thank you again for the donation. I appreciate that, my man. When both teams in New York flourish, I think New York flourishes in general. It helps build the rivalry. That's what we like to see. I want the Yankees to have a good offseason too, so that way we can actually have an intense Subway Series like we did this past year. But again, thank you for the donation. I really, really appreciate that. Hype in the chat to everyone else that's chiming in right now, folks. Like I said, we got a lot to get into here. I'm just addressing the donos as they happen. Then we'll go into more. Canha's going to DH most likely. I will be a little surprised by that, Thomas. And that's really going to bring in the Jeff McNeil factor, right? What's his role going to be? So we're going to get into more. The deal has not been official. It's still pending physical, just like Escobar. It will get made official within the next day or two. So keep that in mind. But it is official in the sense that it's been reported from Ken Rosenthal and everyone involved. Not Mark Canha. That's the guy we're talking about. Also has been reported by Jeff Passan and everyone you need to know. Pep Mets with another $10 dono. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much for that. These are the types of moves that the Mets did not make the past few years. Quality players that add depth and fill in at multiple positions and can play every day. You said it. You took the words out of my mouth. That's it. That's all, folks. That's it for the stream. We got it down. But yes, METS is 1,000% right here. These are quality depth moves where if they need to be starters, they can absolutely be starters for you. But they're not someone where, if they are starters, that they're going to be an issue. No, they're not. These are guys that very well can be beyond effective for this METS team for what they need right now. And it also helps them a lot with, we know the Mets have a huge priority in starting pitching right now, right? If you're really going hard after Max Scherzer, if you're really going hard at Kevin Gausman, if they're really going all in this rotation, then these depth moves even make that much more sense for them, so that way that they can properly allocate their dollars. Because obviously the belief is that they're going to be probably spending upwards, if not right around, just below or just above $100 million this offseason. That's a lot of damn dough, okay? And ideally, the only way that you can make these moves is if you make them smartly. You have to make smart moves. You can't make moves for the sake of, oh, this is a good guy, we just got to throw a bag at him. No, you got to make sure that there's reason behind it at the end of the day, folks. That's like the Dodgers, a good example. The Dodgers, if they were healthy this past year, they probably would have went all the way, right? But Dodgers are a team that has had a huge payroll. Yankees, a great example too, huge payroll. But just because you have big payroll doesn't mean it automatically amounts to success, because you need to make sure that while you're spending big, you're also making big decisions. You're making the proper decisions. And Mark Canha is surely one of them when it comes to on base, getting guys in scoring position. That is what we like to see. And of course, versatility will be key in this all as well. But again, thank you for the donation, METS. I really appreciate that. Christopher with the $5 dono. New Mets transaction. Tune into Wardy. Never in doubt. Oh, thank you, Chris. I appreciate you, brother. Hype in the chat for Chris as well. Great supporter on the channel. Really appreciate the kind words. Thank you again for the donation. And I know we got a lot of people in the chat. We got mixed feelings. I know we got some people that feel that, oh, this is exactly what the Mets are going to be doing. David says Mets are in talks with third baseman Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians. I think that's cap, David. David, I think you've been a decent supporter on the channel for a while, though, so I'll be surprised as to why you're doing that cap right now. If anyone can confirm it from reports, then go ahead. But I think that's complete cap until proven otherwise. So, yeah, we don't like fake news in the chat. I'll say that right now. Not appreciated. But, guys, let's talk about Mark Canha. That's the reason why you're watching this, right? Whether it's live on replay. Taking a look at Mark Canha's numbers in 2021 alone. Chase rate, 91st percentile. This guy doesn't strike out. He has a beautiful eye at the box. And what is something that Billy Epler emphasized in his presser when addressing player evaluation? He said something right along the following of, I want us to acquire players that know how to handle the strike zone, that don't just have a great plate discipline, but can be aggressive when needed. Mark Canha is a prime example of that with how well his plate discipline has been. His sprint speed above average at 68 percentiles. Walk rate. Oh, this sounds a lot like a guy like Brandon Nemo. 87th percentile in 2021. This guy gets on base. Whiff rate. A whiff percentage, 72 percentile. Outs above average, 74 percentile. Solid. For a guy that's an outfielder that's been playing in left, center, and right in 2021. Again, you're not going to get crazy exit velo with him. You're not going to get huge slugging. Mark Canha is just like Brandon Nemo in the sense he's not a home run king. He's an on-base king, and he's going to do anything he possibly can to get on base and help really do that small ball. Something that the Mets just have flat out sucked at outside of a few key players in Brandon Nemo and Francisco Lindor. Let's not forget that Lindor's an on-base king as well. You might get a little surprised by that because he's someone that's flashy with the glove, of course, has a big bat, and really struggled to begin the season. So naturally you're thinking, oh, he's not that good. Yeah, no, he really is good, and he gets on base a lot. But Brandon Nemo is towards the top of the list. He's among the league's elite. And Mark Canha is not far behind him at all. Because when we get into career numbers, our Mark Canha, of just how damn good this guy has been in his career, on base especially, there's a reason why he has a 344 career on base. In 2021, 358. Fantastic numbers. If we go back to, just 2020, the shortened season. Again, it's shortened season. Don't put too much stock in it. We know the story by now. But in 59 games played, he basically played the entire season in 2020, the shortened year. He had himself a 246 average, 387. Yes, 387 on base, 408 slugging, and just a dominant year. Just absolutely dominant. At 127 WRC plus, had 115 WRC plus in 2021. 2019 was Mark Canha's career year at the age of 30. This guy in 126 games played had himself a year. We're talking 26 home runs, 80 runs scored, 58 RBIs. Those career highs in all those categories. A career high in average 273. 396 on base for Mark Canha in 2019 and a 517 slugging. This guy was just nasty, a 146 WRC plus. So Canha is going to come into the Mets. I do not expect him to have a 400 on base, but I do expect him to be very much right around his career average, looming around 350 or so. What is that going to do for your Mets club that will have sluggers, will continue to acquire them, especially if they bring back Javi Baez and maybe make another big splash for another big bat, whether that, is a big splash of a Seiya Suzuki or whether that's someone maybe on the infield and they do in fact get even a Chris Bryant still, or it's just someone along those lines. Regardless, the Mets are going to have a great balance, or already a better team than what they were last year offensively. There's no denying that whatsoever. You need place setters in your lineup. You can't have everyone swinging for the fences. This helps give you stability at the position. And this is a guy where, again, yes, he's in his 30s already. He's just like Eduardo Escobar. He's 32 years old. He'll be entering his 33rd season. He'll be 35 when the contract is up, which is perfectly fine. And he's someone that has a club option after his second year. So you can get very creative with how you utilize him. He's someone that the Mets, again, may utilize as their everyday left fielder. And if they do, he's going to handle it just fine. They may utilize him as their right fielder every day because he has experience in right and he's been fine there. That might be the route that they want to go down, a guy that's more reliable getting on base than someone like Michael Conforto if Michael decides that he wants to go elsewhere. So they might want to utilize him as an outfielder, a fourth outfielder, if you will, where he's a crazy versatile guy. Maybe they utilize him in the DH role, but that's really where I'm starting to wondering the Jeff McNeil aspect, because Jeff McNeil is a guy without a position right now. So does this kind of be an indication of Jeff McNeil being part with? Maybe, or it's an indication that McNeil could be just your absolutely stud utility guy off the bench. So all I can say is this is a great route the Mets are going down. And no, this is not the blockbuster moves the Mets are going to be making this offseason in regards to the top tier. They're not going to do anything better than this. If you're watching this right now and you think that this is the best the Mets will do this offseason, whether it's offensively or pitching-wise, you can just leave the chat right now. You can leave the stream because clearly you're not paying attention. You have to focus. You have to understand why teams make decisions at the end of the day. And you have to understand that, no, this is not a damn Sandy Alderson move. I'm done with that narrative when it comes to these moves. These are good moves. These are players that I have always been in favor of, as long as, of course, you continue to make more moves in the offseason, address the pitching like we know that they need to, address more holes in the outfield, address the infield some more too. They're going to do these things. So for the people that believe that this is the end all, the writing's on the wall. Just please let me know when you start to read it and pay attention. Then we can finally be on the same page. Because I give little tolerance to the people in the comments that think that they actually know that this is the last moves that the Mets are making in the offseason. Just stop. Pay attention. Have some damn patience. I understand that it's hard. I can tell you personally, as someone that literally covers them on a daily basis, it's frustrating as all hell when you see constant drama with a club. It is frustrating as all hell when you're focusing on a team and you're seeing other teams make moves and you're like, why won't they make moves yet? This is why. Negotiations take time. You can't just think that, oh my God, okay, this guy's made available. Why didn't we get him yet? Oh, this team just traded for that player. Why didn't we get him? There are reasons. And don't get me wrong, Mets have been at fault before, and they will be at fault again. This will not be the last time that we see the Mets, make potentially moves, not talking about Mark Canha, and then in general, where they will make moves that maybe backfire. That's always going to happen with teams. But the point is that if you're building depth, if you're trying to have sustainable success, veteran leadership, if you're trying to have all these factors into helping build a winning club to hopefully win the division and have a deep run, these are guys that help you get there. You're taking a step forward. You're not taking a step back. Now let's get into, okay, let's see. I know we got a donation. Dave with the $5 donut. Thank you so much for that, my man. Mad Max Stro Suzuki buys next. That would be a slam dunk offseason. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I do not think all that's happening, Dave. I really don't, but I would love that, obviously. And I really, really appreciate the donation, no less. So hype in the chat for Dave with the $5 donut with the very optimist type approach. Again, I don't think all those things are going to happen. I would love them, though, like any other Mets fan. And we'll see what comes of it. The Mets are ingrained in pitching. They're in on Marte right now. They're in on a lot of things. So before we go any further, I just want to say thank you all so much there in the chat that are enjoying the live stream, whether you're watching this live or on replay. I stand firmly behind the notion that this is a good move that the Mets made, and I will die on that hill for sure, because there's no other way to look at this. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I'm for sure not moving the line on mine. It's staying put. So I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from, and I hope you guys understand, your thought process too. No, he's not a mediocre player. There's a reason why. Let me put it this way. I feel like the class of people that think that Mark Canha is a mediocre player are the same people that think Brandon Nemo's a fourth outfielder. I don't have patience for that. I really don't have patience for people that aren't paying attention. Brandon Nemo, the biggest issue with him his entire career has been his health. That's the only thing. What do you get with someone like Mark Canha, who's just like Brandon Nemo? You get security at the position, especially in a scenario where Brandon Nemo, say, continues to deal with injuries. If the Mets do bring in someone like Starling Marte, who, yeah, is damn good at getting on base, just like these two, it helps bring stability, especially in the scenario where maybe you shift Brandon Nemo to the corner outfield. As good as he was in center, I wouldn't mind him in the corner and left, knowing that he's a guy that won't have to deal with as much work, and it's someone that came up as a natural left fielder first and foremost. So, if that can help limit injuries, then sign me the heck up. So, as I said, and as I will continue to say in the stream, there are reasons why teams make decisions, right? I know that might be hard to grasp. There are especially reasons as to why teams make depth decisions. Because if this past year told us anything, it doesn't matter how much damn depth you have. We had, oh my goodness, we had Cameron Maben starting. We had Cameron Maben in like the top 3 of the damn batting order for multiple games this year. Cameron Maben, okay? You cannot allow yourself to even get yourself remotely in a position to have guys like that in your starting lineup, let alone even on the bench in a season if you're trying to have success. Billy Epler has emphasized time and time again, and he will continue to, depth is where you get success. That's where you get places. This helps you get there. So everybody in the chat, and Larry, completely disagree with you. Love you, buddy. You're a great supporter. I completely disagree, and that's okay. Heard someone on Twitter say, I don't think Canha Escobar won't play every day. I think that there's a very good chance that at least one of them does. I don't. Now, the thing that I'm going to say where I can't completely commit, however, if both of them will play every day, is the fact of us not knowing the moves that are still to come. I think that there's a damn good chance that Canha plays every day, close to, at least in left. I also think that there's a very solid chance that Escobar does if they do utilize him as your everyday third baseman. Or if, say, Baez walks, they utilize him at second base, which would be more than fine. Then they go someone else for third base. But there's also a chance that they get creative with them and that they might be playing every day, but maybe not as starters coming in halfway through the game for different positions. A lot of versatility going on. So the beauty about what the Mets are doing, not just with Escobar, but also with Canha, is that they have options. These are guys that play different positions. Escobar can literally play 3-4 different positions, can do it capable, can be fine there. Canha is a guy that can easily play all the outfield and can even play some of the infield if you desperately need to, right? Versatility helps teams a lot. We know that. Jeff McNeil is a good example as well. And whether Jeff McNeil stays with the New York Mets or something is something that will be yet to be seen. We will see what comes of his future. But the Mets definitely need more guys like him that have versatility that can really handle any situation. There's a reason why the Giants were so good as they were in 2021 when they had multiple guys that were heavy versatile canes that could play in a lot of different positions. Look at the Dodgers, another great example, like the Kike Hernandez's, the Chris Taylors of the world. You don't make runs without those guys. They're vital. They are important to your team. The Mets are building that now. And as someone that's been following along, that's understanding of how important not just depth, but versatility is for a club, that is what helps you get to the right place in the end. And that's why I'm beyond satisfied with what this is happening. Did I see Baez is said to want 6,200? Ooh, okay. That's a lot. That's a lot of AAV. Now, term I'm okay with. AAV, that's a bit. That's a lot. I think 7 over 200 would be more ideal for Baez. But again, I'm not going to say that the Mets are out on. Mets are fully in on Baez right now. I think we're going to find a decision on him very soon. A dude said it's up to us to believe him or not, but the Mets are closing in on Starling Marte. I know that the Mets are still very much in on Marte. Whether the Mets actually land Marte tonight is something that I don't know. Would it be awesome? Yeah. If the Mets land Marte, they basically have their outfield good for next season. That would all. Let me put it this way: if the Mets land Marte, we can kiss Seiya Suzuki goodbye. As much as I would love Seiya Suzuki, I know that there's easily half the league in on Seiya Suzuki, so it would be unfortunate. I love Seiya Suzuki, but yeah, if the Mets land Marte, I would not get your hopes up on Suzuki. I think that ship has officially sailed, in my opinion. But again, we'll see what happens. I'm not trying to jump the gun on anything. I'm just evaluating things on the forefront as they're happening right now. But I don't think Marte. I don't think we will see a decision on Marte tonight. I'll be surprised. But at the same time, I'm also someone that did not expect either of these moves by the Mets today. If anything, I thought that maybe they would go after a pitcher for their first big move, even if it was a depth starter, whoever that may be, whether it's a John Gray who's marketing up, whether it's Alex Cobb, who looks like he was going to the Giants, but now we don't know what's happening with Alex Cobb or something else. So I'm surprised. Did not expect infield and outfield acquisitions today, but by no means am I upset about them. I like them both a lot, respectively. And now the ball is going to continue to roll for this Mets team. So again, folks, if you're watching this live, not on replay, live it would have to be. And if you're getting updates on anything with the Mets right now, feel free to let me know. Like I said, all I know to this point is that they are still in on Marte. They're still in on Javi Baez. These are guys that we should both get answers from prior to the deadline in December, when we will assumably have a lockout because of the CBA expiring. But Thank you all so much that have been chiming in the live stream. I hope you guys have been enjoying. Yeah. Oh, that's a damn good point. It is only 7:13. If Epler's still on the West Coast, that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. That's why deals can happen at midnight. Or, in the Steven Matz instance a couple days ago, it happened at 12:30 at midnight. It was past midnight. It's ridiculous. Yeah, there is still a lot of time for Epler. So that is fair. Looks like I'm not going to go to bed anytime soon tonight to make sure that I got the notifications on and everything. But we're still going to run the live stream at least another half an hour because I have a lot more that I want to say on Marcana. I'm really curious to see everyone's initial reactions in the chat here as we're watching live. So again, feel free to do that. Really, just continue to let me know your thoughts here, folks, on your stance on Marcana coming to the Mets or not. I want to see, because I haven't gotten a chance to really look at everyone's comments individually. So I would like to do that more now. If you're watching live and on replay, I think you'll enjoy this as well. So yeah, guys, let me know what your initial reaction further on Canha is. If you think this is a nice pickup, do you like the ability of him and his versatility, bringing depth to this outfield? If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. Again, I'm going to be on a hard stance against you because of the contract on how this benefits the Mets, as I explained already. But I completely respect everyone's opinion, no less. So continue to let me know your thoughts. I want to hear. Canha's defense is okay. It's nothing crazy. Canha is not a gold glove, but he is someone that will be more than capable. Let me put it that way. He's been, the fact that he had over 800 innings in left field in 2021, had over 100 in center and right. Yeah, the guy can literally play anywhere, and he's going to be perfectly fine for what the Mets need. And I think if this tells us anything, it's that Dom Smith is gone, right? The only exception that you can make that Dom Smith will stay on this team is that, one, they really utilize him as a bench bat, or two, that they go all in with him on potentially the DH role. Outside of that, I don't see how you potentially have Dom Smith on this team. He's not in left field. We know that he's gonzo. So Dom, as I said before, Dom and JD have always felt like the most likely to be traded this offseason, and I don't think anything changes other than further pushing that narrative with this signing now of Canha. It's decent for depth, but I can't get excited with that low average. Again, Kish, you're not looking for average with them. Same way we don't look at average with Nemo, okay? Nemo had a great year average-wise in 2021, but we normally don't get upset when he has a low average because the guys still gain on base at, upwards of a 400 clip, and that's rare. And Mark Canha finds himself directly in that category. So just keep that in mind as you evaluate someone like him. It's not about average with Mark Canha. It's about everything else. The only way I like it is if it's bench moves. I think that's a stubborn look, Shay, to be honest with you. I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you think that these guys will be solely off the bench, because I assure you that it's more than likely not going to happen. But again, we're going to see exactly how their utilization is. Now get Baez and pitching. I agree with you on that one. If Conforto's gone, they should go for Suzuki and Marte, if not Buxton. Buxton feels like a pipe dream as much as I would love him. Suzuki I love, but I'm not confident Suzuki landing with the Mets, only because I know that so many other teams are in on him. And I think it might come down to personal preference. And naturally, personal preference on the Mets, unfortunately, at this point, aren't something that happens all that much, right? There's reasons why Mets people don't come here often. D Savage, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words, my man. You personally like the signing very much, says Carlos. Frank likes the signing, says it's a good move. Going down the list further here. Don will be Alonso's backup. I have a feeling that might not even happen, to be honest with you. Do I like Dom over Pete for DH over first base? To be honest with you, I think Pete's perfect for DH, but he doesn't want to be DH every day. So I think Pete's going to be mainly the first base. And look, Pete was an above average first baseman in 2021. If you guys look up your numbers, Pete Alonso was one of the better first basemen in all baseball in 2021. He wasn't elite level, but he was above average. And I think he's going to continue to get better at the position. Even though Pete is the embodiment of a DH, though. He has like the entire look. No denying that. The NL East team that signs Schwarber won't lose to the Mets in 2022. That's why Schwarber isn't going to the NL East Orioles. He's going back to Boston. Because I do not want to see that man on the Phillies or something. That'd be horrendous. I say that out of being fearful. David, what's up, my man? Got to work on getting Baez back and also work on the pitching side. I agree, and I think that they will continue to do just that. It's been reported that that's exactly what they're doing right now. There's no denying that, right? You have to keep in mind that the Mets will need to make room on the roster if they are going to fill a bunch of their holes with free agents. Oh, absolutely, Steven. Yep, that's why I said. If you guys did not see the biggest video on the channel of 5 players that I think won't return the Mets next year, make sure you do. Those are all guys outside of one of them that are trade assets. They are not free agents. The only one that's a free agent on that is Jeurys Familia. I do think that the Mets are going to make trades, and I do think that it's going to incorporate some guys that, we've gotten attached to, but, don't really have a role on this team or aren't expected to, or that they were upgraded from in free agency. We might trade for Kimbrel. That's a big up in the air. I don't know what the Kimbrel stance is, and I don't know how to feel about going for Kimbrel either. I wouldn't want to get Kimbrel unless we're not really losing anything of significance. The description needs to be updated. Okay, let's see what the description is. Oh, shoot, you're right. I put in the wrong description. That's on me, folks. My bad. Shout out to AB for telling me to update the description. I appreciate that. You guys got to understand, I usually have my descriptions like preset. So I just copy and paste them a lot of the times. And usually that can cause issues. So shout out to AB for noticing the issue. Appreciate that, my man. Give me 1 second, folks. And we're already past 200 likes. Thank you so much, folks. Help us get it 300 plus by the end of the stream. You guys know the drill by now. Smash that like and subscribe button. And, of course, help us get to 1K subs. Not 1K. We got a 1K. Help us get 11K for the next short-term goal. That's always appreciated as well, guys. And thank you so much in advance. Okay, 4 years, 120 million for Scherzer. Yeah, I think that's something that's been thrown out a lot. I don't see 4 though. I think 3 would happen. I think 3 is that sweet spot for Scherzer. But we'll get into more on those comments shortly. I'm not going to get into those until we really get into the full Q&A. And give me 1 second. Okay, so there is rumblings going on that we may get an answer on Marte tonight. That might be crazy. I will say this very much, though. We're going to do the live stream for an hour, so we have like 25 minutes in this live stream that I want to go over a lot more in regards to Canha and also getting into more Q&A. So if something does happen again tonight, for whatever reason, if it is a Marte or something else, you guys know where we will be. So just throwing that out there. Not trying to get anyone's hopes up or anything, but the Marte market is heating up. 2 mediocre signs in one day. Pat, it's okay to be upset, Pat, that your Yanks can't do anything yet. It's okay. I know you're upset about Correa still, huh? Not getting that big name shortstop like you thought you were. Shout out Pat, though. We all love Pat at Unhinged Yankees here. Can't even speak. 3 a.m. stream. If it has to happen, it has to happen. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. There's a reason why I'm up every day, prepared. I just got caught off guard. The one time I was caught off guard, I was out when stuff happened. I think we're really close to 10.2K subs on the channel, Ray. So thank you so much for that, folks. Really, really appreciate it. Pat is not the captain, no. Solid signs by the Mets today. I tend to agree. What do I think the chances of are the Mets game Bryant? I think that the chances of the Mets game Bryant are far slimmer. Nah, I shouldn't. Know what? I don't know if I should necessarily say that. I don't know what the chances are of the Mets with Bryant after what has transpired today, especially if they do land Marte and another outfielder. That really limits wanting Bryant for versatility outside of third base. I don't think it's impossible for the Mets to get Bryant still, but I don't think that Bryant is a priority. I think Baez is their priority infield wise right now, and they're still very much in on Marte. So we're gonna see what comes of it, but I don't know. Bryant's a very big question mark. And, if he's looking like for a 7-year deal, which I'm sure he is, I genuinely don't know if that's the route I know that's not the route the Mets want to go down for third base, assumably, because they don't want to block Brett Beatty. As long as you have options in the outfield for him, maybe Bryant, maybe I'm talking a little silly right now, but Bryant still could be of consideration, but Escobar, I think, is going to get a good amount of at-bats. So how do they go about it? I'm really not sure. Bryant's a big question mark for me. I'm glad he brought it up though, because I'm still trying to figure it out on if Bryant is really an option. Why aren't we getting Correa? Well, no one said we aren't getting Correa, but I don't think it's likely for the sole purpose of him wanting to be a shortstop and getting paid over $300 million. Naturally, you're going to go through some hurdles for a team that has an over $300 million shortstop already. So nothing's impossible, but again, I would not bet on Correa. I think Correa is one of the guys you should not get your hopes up on this offseason, if I'm being completely honest with you. And Jason, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that. And hype in the chat, everybody. You guys are the bad. QO doesn't phase Correa, though. I will say that. Reports have already come out today that the Mets have shown interest in a pitcher that is connected to a QO, that being a Robbie Ray. If the Mets are willing to do that, then clearly the QO factor it's only a factor for certain players, not all players. Carlos Correa would be one of those exceptions. By all means, if you're going to give up a first-round pick to sign someone, it starts and ends with Carlos Correa. He's the first guy that you should be comfortable with versus others. I think that there's a question mark with Robbie Ray, with that being a potential risk. I think there's a question mark even with Nick Castellanos to a certain extent. Keep that in mind because I love Castellanos. I think he's going to do great still. But if there's one guy between age and upside right now where whatever player that comes out of that compensation pick, you can feel comfortable will not be to the likelihood of a Carlos Correa, it's Carlos Correa. So, yeah, he's that one where I think that, I would not be upset at all that if whoever signs him, whatever comp pick you give up, he's worth it. Carlos Correa is 1,000% worth it. Ross, imagine looking at this Canha thing and trying to make jokes about it as if this is what the Mets are going to be doing blockbuster-wise. You're not paying attention. And you should not be surprised if Scherzer doesn't want to come to the Mets. He's made it abundantly clear in the past that he hasn't. So even if the Mets throw the bag at Scherzer, which they may very well just do not get your hopes up on Max Scherzer. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Right. That's how you should go about the Scherzer valuation. You doubt Correa will sign me for the lockout? I doubt he will sign me for the lockout too. Stroman, Baez, Marte, Gosman, and 2 relievers. Is that the best offseason of all time? I don't know. I don't think that's the best offseason of all time. I'd have to imagine it's not, but it'd be a damn good one. And we got 600 viewers. Shout out everybody in the chat. Again, continue to smash that like and subscribe on, guys. Let me know your initial thoughts about the Mets making not their first, but second really, really solid move of the day. That being by signing a very similar contract, this time to Mark Canha after acquiring Eduardo Escobar just a couple hours earlier. Mark Canha, 2-year deal, $26.5 million, right around a $13 million AAV. There is a 3rd-year club option. Okay, folks, a couple more things I want to get in with Canha, but we do have a $2 donation, so hype in the chat to my man, Independent Outsider. The Mets have to sign contact hitters. Baez and Canha, Baez, I would love Baez. Yes, I'm praying to the baseball gods we keep Baez. I really, really want Baez back. I went over that tangent. We've done endless live streams and videos about Baez. So if that happens, you guys are going to see me jump. I literally have Baez on my wall, bro. I got Baez on my wall. And fun fact, folks, I put this Billy Epler newspaper on my wall just like a day or two ago. And since doing that, he's made 2 very good signings. I put that up after the Aaron Loop news. So I put it up after, like, quote unquote bad news, even though, yeah, it did suck to lose Aaron Loop, but hopefully they replace him well. And I think that they will. But since putting that up, we're 2 for 2 on good pickups. Good pickups. Not blockbuster, but very good, solid pickups. Does this signing hurt our chances of getting Suzuki or Marte? Marte, no. Suzuki, maybe. That's what I will say. Marte, this doesn't hurt Marte at all. I think the Mets are in on Marte quite a bit right now. So we'll see what comes of that. All we know at this point is that the Mets are very in on Starling Marte. But I want to get into a little bit further here on Mark Canha, folks, because like I said, this guy's walk percentage among the elite in baseball, 87th percentile in 2021. Chase rate, 91. Going to 2020, Same numbers. He was 90th percentile in chase rate and 91st percentile in walk rate. Okay. Now let's go to 2019. 92nd percentile in walk percentage and 89th percentile chase rate. Okay. 2018 dropped a lot. So 2019 was his coming out party by far. And for comparisons, let's look up Brendan Nemo to just give you guys an idea on how similar these guys are for like what they're bringing to the Mets as place setters, as guys that are, going to come in and just be on base phenoms. Yes, we can put a poll up in the chat for sure. Yeah, we'll put up a poll in the chat on if you guys like the signing. I should have did it earlier. I always forget about doing polls during live streams. I always forget about them, so I apologize. And we're almost at we're almost at 300 likes already. So thank you so much for that, folks. Continue to smash that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying the stream as always. But yeah, let's put up a poll real quick. Orphanage. DeGrom with the $2 donut. Thank you so much for that, my man. I want Baez and Correa, not Scrubs. We need more help. We do need more help, but by no means are the Mets going to get Baez and Correa. Pipe dream, not happening. One of the two, feasible. Yes. That being Baez. Two of them, I can literally like almost promise you that's not going to happen. As much as I would love it. I would love to be proven wrong. But I'm telling you right now, Baez, there's a very strong likelihood. Correa, there's not. So, one of the two you're feeling accurate on. Should have gave me a $1 donation, not two. But still, I appreciate a $2 donation no less. Thank you, my man. Saw Baez and Lindor. And let me see. There was a comment. Did I miss it? Saw Baez and Lindor in Alexandra Cohen's hometown in PR last week. Only speculation or coincidence, perhaps, or not. I don't know. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty with Baez right now, but I do think that there's a very good likelihood of him returning. The Mets are very in on him, and I really hope for their sake that they do, in fact, land him. Watermelon, have a good night, my man. And I don't think, I didn't miss any other donation, right, folks? I'm just making sure I didn't. I'm scrolling up in the chat right now. But, okay, let's pull up Brendan Nemo's stats. So, as I said, right, Mark Canha, 87th percentile in walk rate this year and walk percentage, and he was in the 90th plus percent. No, pardon me. I think he was 87th percentile in chase rate, and he was 91st percentile, I think, in walk percentage. Brendan Nemo, 2021 numbers, 100th percentile in chase rate. Brandon Nemo does not chase. He just doesn't. We all know that. That man does not chase anything on the strike zone. Walk percentage, Brandon Nemo, 96th percentile. Scott, don't focus on the batting average. That's not what we got him for. I promise you that. 2020, 90th percentile walk rate, 95th percentile chase rate. Just a beast. Brandon Nemo and Mark Canha are just so similar in what their roles will be on this team. And, I mean, if you can get more Brandon Nemos, that's a great thing, right? And the Mets have essentially just done that in a lot of ways. So, Dave with the $3 donation. Thank you so much for the dono, Dave. Hype in the chat for Dave with the $3 dono. We love and appreciate that, my man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you again for the donation, brother. Great support in front of the channel. Give me Correa over Baez, to be honest, more consistent, in my opinion. Okay. $2 donut. Thank you so much. I agree with you. I would take Correa every single day of the week over Baez. And I love Baez to death. I'm someone that's a heavy advocate for him on the team. But Carlos Correa is on another level than Baez. But the reason why that is even further not happening is because of just how much better of an overall player Correa is. And he's someone that, from what we've seen, would probably like to be shortstop, can play second or third if he needs to be. But he's still utilizing himself as a shortstop right now. And for what the money's going to be, makes a lot of sense why the Mets would bring back Baez, someone who has familiarity with Lindor, that can be a shutdown middle infield, versus having someone like Correa. And I love Correa, but again, for the price point and for what the Mets are trying to do this offseason, it makes far more sense for them to go down the Baez route if it was picking between the two, especially in that comp pick does come in hand. So yeah, do not get your hopes up on Correa. Trust me, do not do it. It's not going to benefit you. But do have optimism with Baez, however. That's what I will say. It would take an arm and a leg to get Josh Hader, and quite frankly, it makes no sense for the Brewers to part with him, other than trying to address more of their offense. And the Mets don't really have, the great assets to get Hader. They don't have that prospect capital. We're not going to talk about Josh Hader until there's a real reason for us to talk about him. Yeah, and Baez does help balance things too. That's a great point, Vin. I'm glad you brought that up. Look, the Mets need high on base guys, as we're saying in the chat, to then get a balance on the lower on base guys. Javi was a roughly 380 on base guy with the Mets in 2021, but do I think he's going to be that consistently? No, I don't. It's awesome. If he is, then hell yeah, sign me the heck up, right? But I'm not going to bet on that, and neither should us. So you have to be with the understanding that Baez is a huge swing to miss, not going to be a crazy on base guy consistently. What we're assuming. Again, I would love to be proven wrong, but that further helps balance things out when you have a big pop bat like him. That's just awesome slugger, such a great glove, Gold Glove in that infield, and then have Canha and Nemo. Those are guys that help be place setters for the Baezes, for even the Lindors, for the Alonsos, right? Those are the guys that should be help driving runs. And that's because the guys that are on base are those ones from the outfield specifically. And the Mets land Marte, too. That's another big on base guy. Like, let's go to Starling Marte's numbers a little bit here. Marte's been pretty darn good on gain on base, respectively, as well, and has some more pop in his bat. Again, I know that Canha had 26 bombs in 2019, but I'm not expecting to do that, with the Mets at all. I think Canha will probably loom between, 10 to 18 home runs, right? But Starling Marte on base in 2021. Let's see. Wow. See, it's actually interesting. He doesn't, Marte doesn't get walked. He was below average in walk percentage, and it was way below average in chase rate. Marte does swing and miss a lot, but he gets on base in general a lot. Probably just with his contact is what I'm seeing here. Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy. Hold on. Let me look up something real quick. And shout out to the roughly 600 viewers in the chat. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe on, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, as always. Really, really appreciate it. Okay. Marte's numbers. Yeah, he had a 383 clip. I wasn't. No. Oh, I'm sorry. He had a 340 on base, which was awesome in 2021. 2019 short season 383. He has a career 346 on base. Better than better than Canha even. This guy's just been an absolute on base machine. Love that. Again, we love on base. We would take on base guys every day of the week here. Or give me Scherzer so I can teach him how to pitch. Talk your shit, DeGrom. But yes, I would. Scherzer and DeGrom, the two best pitchers in the NL for the past decade plus. Yeah, two best pitchers in the league for that matter together. Yeah, I would cry with tears of joy. The right thing to do as a Mets fan. Appreciate the donation again, buddy. I know we got. Okay, not official, but a Dominican Twitter account that covers DR Winter League baseball said Marte will be signing with the team in the NL East in the next few hours. Marte is Dominican, and there has been rumblings. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I think that there's a very good chance that Marte will go to either the Mets or the Phillies. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies really overpay for Marte as well. So keep an eye on that. Like I said, I think that there's a decent chance that we go back live again tonight. And if not the end of the world. I'll get everything set up in the scenario that something will happen. But yeah, keep an eye on Starling Marte. We'll see what happens on his front. I'm excited to find out. Buys is must. I agree with you, Shay. Love the name, by the way. Shay Young. Is that your actual name? Love that name, especially how you spell it. Just like Shea Stadium. Love that name. David with the $5 donation. Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate you. David, I should say. Wardy, my thinking is we are still in on Brian. Escobar is a VR type player. Escobar is, but he's a guy that still can be starting every day without a problem and has big pop in his bat. So I see he's an upgrade over VR, no doubt, but I still think he's going to get a good amount of playing time. Bryant, Lindor, Baez, and Alonso, that would be sick. That would be beyond sick. I agree with you, and that would be nasty. That would be awesome. So we'll see, David. Don't get your hopes too up, especially on Bryant. I think Baez is a guy that you should definitely hone in your focus on more than anyone infield-wise right now. But again, appreciate the donation. That means a lot, my man. You named your cat Shay after Shea Stam? Attaboy. Look at what Stro tweeted. Okay, we'll look at what Stro tweeted. Hopefully it's something positive. We are looking at what Stro tweeted. Hold on. Oh my God. It wouldn't be a day in Metsland without Stro causing drama on what his future certainty is going to be. If you guys are wondering, Stro just tweeted out a laughing emoji. It's probably hard to see right now. I'm not going to go the lengths of pulling it up on stream because there's literally nothing to explain. But I don't know. Maybe it's not good. I don't know. Would I be damned if the Mets didn't prioritize Stro, if they prioritized someone like Gosman or even Scherzer ahead of him? No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't surprise me at all because, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But we'll see. Not trying to draw conclusions here. We'll see what comes of this, if anything. Again, if I'm focusing heavily on everything that Marcus Stroman has tweeted, he would have been off the Mets. You know, he would have made it guarantee that he wouldn't be coming back to the Mets as soon as the offseason ended, even before. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that. Charles, my man. I'm sorry. Charles, you sent the donation twice, my man. I wish I could reject it. Like, cause I know you didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, my man. I just want you to know though, Charles, you sent two $4.99 donations of the same text. You must have clicked something wrong because I know obviously you didn't mean to do that. So I just want to let you know, I apologize if that wasn't what your intent was. I wish I could help you. I know that on Twitch you can like reverse it if that's what you would be wanting. But I apologize, Charles. I know that's not what you probably wanted, but I appreciate the donations no less. So hype in the chat for Charles. Says, what's up, Wary? I was just wondering what you would like the Mets to realistically do for the rest of the offseason. I think we should do Max Marte. I say sign me the hell up, Charles. I think we are on the same exact page, like identically on the same exact page. So thank you so much for the donation. I really, really appreciate that, my man. Hype in the chat for Charles as always. And I'm sorry. I didn't do anything wrong, but I'm just apologizing for you because I know you didn't mean to do that. I think it will cost more to get Ramirez versus Bryant. I mean, cost more to get Ramirez. J-Ram, my goodness, it's an arm and a leg. Yes. All you have to do to give up to get someone like Bryant is money. J-Ram, you have to give up a lot. You know, a lot of prospects, a lot of big assets. Yes. I love the Mets to go all in and win the World Series this year. What about you? Joe, I think any Mets fan would want that exact thing. So, yes, I think we're in agreement. Would cost all my limbs, but at the same time, I would be willing to give up my limbs in order to acquire Jose Ramirez. Rightfully so. Soto with the $2 donation. Stove is hot. Yes, that's an understatement. Stove is. It's a little. I don't think it's burning. Like I can tap it, you know, but if I leave my hand there for like a couple seconds, it's like having your finger, you know, toying above a flame. It's going to burn. So yeah, I would definitely say that comment is fairly accurate right now. Awesome night, Ariel. I agree with you. Yes, best is yet to come. I agree with you for sure. John Means and Mullins, not happening, Ryan, but I like the hype, you know. John Means you're going to give up assets for when there's pitching talent available through the free agent market that can suffice for what you're trying to do and win now or the next couple of years. Even though I know John Means is great talent, no hitter this past year, all that stuff. But also, Cedric Mullins, absolute stud. But you would have to give up an arm and a leg for him. Mets don't have prospect capital to do that. Do not get fed up in the belief that the Mets will go down this blockbuster trade. Maybe it will happen. I would love it if Mets go down a blockbuster trade. But if we should take it personally at all of what Billy Epler has told us so far, is that they're trying to build the farm, keep their top prospects, and go through free agency because they know that they have a lot of routes that they can do in free agency. What is going on tonight? A lot's going on. That's all I can say. Yeah, I don't know what that DR account is, but I've seen accounts like that on Twitter that like are legit. Not in the sense of them necessarily being reputable, but they are people. They are reporters from, you know, DR of just Hispanic descent. I know that there's one guy like Hector something that is inaccurate a lot. I know that much, but he also has been right about things. But he usually jumps the gun when he's figuring out this kind of stuff. Peter with the $5 dono. Hyping the chat for Peter. I'd rather take Lorenzo Kane's salary to get Hader and then give Suzuki $575. I think Suzuki will land on a 5-year deal cheaper than that, personally. And Locane, I don't think that handling Locane's salary will be enough to get you Hader. I don't think so. I think it would still be more that you'd have to deal with to try to get Hader at a good price. But I get what you're trying to say here, though, and that is a route that Epler is willing to go down to handle big contracts to get prospect capital or stuff that'll help the team right away. So yeah, we'll see, Peter. But again, appreciate the donation. I like the way that you're thinking, at least. Are we in the market for Kershaw or Freeman? I highly doubt it, especially Freeman. Freeman, I don't think he's going anywhere. If Freddie leaves Atlanta, man, oh baby, I don't think that's I pray it happens, but I don't think it's going to. What's up, Lefty? I know you very well, Mr. Bias. How you doing? Nobody's getting Byron Buxton for several years. I wouldn't say that's accurate at all, Rory. I think that there's still a decent chance he gets dealt this offseason, but I know that the Twins are really reluctant to do so, mainly because of the cry that'll come from fans because they don't want to see Buxton go. Stroh's tweet was about football. Well, then there you go. Mets name all over it. I know. That's what we're seeing in regards to Marte. Yeah, we'll see. You know, we're past an hour in the stream now. I have not eaten anything today because of these streams. So I don't know exactly how long we will drag this one out. We'll see. Stroh says he'd love to be back. There you go. Mark. Okay, so someone said to Marcus Stroman, please don't leave the Mets, Stroh. I know 90% of fans are assholes, but we need you in the worst way. Marcus replies and says the following. I know we got a lot of mixed reviews on Marcus in here. So all I'm saying is if it's anything that's going to like cause a problem in the chat, just don't say it. Okay. Just don't be stupid. I would love to be back on the squad next year. I've proven that I can pitch in and why. Others usually crumble under the New York pressure. However, I know a source who says the front office rather the other pitchers on the market. I'm going to dominate wherever I end up. Wow. This is coming. Stroman just straight up said that he thinks that the Mets are prioritizing other pitchers over him. I mean, here's the thing. He's not wrong because Martino literally reported this earlier today. So I don't know, I don't know what's going to come of that. That's interesting. If the Mets really do prioritize people over Stroh, I won't be surprised about it. But at the same time, if they do, then I really hope that they're going I really hope that they push hard on Scherzer then. If you're doing something along those lines, right? If you're going to lose out on Stroman, just make sure that you're doing it for the benefit of the club to the best of your ability because you know that Stroh is going to be a reliable, consistent pitcher for multiple years to come. There's no denying that. So, like anything else, if you're going to lose a guy, just make sure that you replace them with people, if not just as good, then better. That's what I always say about everything, right? Same thing I say about Michael Conforto. Same thing I said about, losing Aaron Luke. Same thing I said about, to a certain extent, about Thor, even though I know he didn't want to return. It was a different circumstance. So just keeping those in mind. Again, though, shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. I hope you all have been enjoying the live stream at this point. Mark Canha coming to the New York Mets on a multi-year deal. The stove is very much hot. Again, we might get more news tonight, so we're going to see what comes of it. I just want to say appreciate you guys all in the chat so much. We hit past 300 likes, so thank you all so much for that. Again, continue smashing that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying the stream. Now, folks, we're kind of to the point, the stream over an hour. We'll just do a complete Q&A. You know, we talked about everything that there really is to know about Mark Canha. If you haven't already, make sure to go back to the beginning of the live stream if you missed out on all that good stuff. But Mark Canha is going to come into a role with the Mets that we're going to find out probably soon on exactly what more could be coming of it. But, you know, it looks like that there's a solid chance we're going to find out more info tonight. But again, folks, if you got more comments, questions, or concerns that you want to share in the stream, by all means, continue to make sure you do so. And again, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Marte will be met within the hour, says Nathan. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but we'll see. We'll see what comes of Marte. Tyler, does the jacket ever get washed? Ryan, no, it doesn't. But I got to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong. I really only wear this jacket when I'm in my room, or sometimes I wear it to games. But a denim jacket, I maybe watched once. It has embroidery on it. It has an entire Mets logo of just the font that says Mets on the back. So it's not something you really wash often. And it doesn't smell bad at all. You know, I don't put this through like battles of, you know, war, if you will, going out for outings that causes intense, you know, sweat and anything like that. So, you know, this thing's been riding strong with me for quite a while now. I've had this jacket for years. Do I think Cobb or Wood get announced by the Giants today? I mean, Cobb, they didn't officially reach an agreement on. Wood, I know that they did. And DeSclafani, I know that they did, but Cobb is still available. Let's see. Marte will agree to terms right after the stream ends. I'm very sorry if this happens. I'm not. I'm gonna prep as if something happens with Marte tonight, so I'm not concerned about, you know, what happens with Marte tonight. I'm not going to bed anytime soon, so I'm not worried about that. Vinny, thank you for the kind words. Appreciate you, Worry. Thanks for keeping us posted. Great job. I'm thinking this takes us out of the Suzuki market. It may, but I will say that I think we'll really be out if we land Marte. That's what I think. So we'll see. We will see what comes of that. I think we're going to get details rather soon. Marte is going to regress, guys. Of course he's going to regress, but to think that he's going to just drastically go down at, you know, career worst numbers in his first year with a Met would be very Met, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. And for a Mets team that's trying to win now, I fully understand why they want Marte. Would I want Scherzer and Rendon over Scherzer and Gausman? Rodon, you mean? That's tough. If Rodon can play the way that we think, if Rodon is healthy next year and has that high velo, then yeah, I would want Scherzer and Rodon over Scherzer and Gausman. But if you're looking for more certainty, more stability on just a safer bet, you go Gausman and Scherzer. The thing that's exciting about Rodon, though, too, is that you would add that southpaw in your rotation, someone that could be a dominant southpaw. But again, you're betting on a lot more with Rodon to get things right with all the potential failure in the world versus someone like Gausman, who's had a couple really strong years under his belt consistency-wise. So if you're looking for more consistency, you want Gausman. But if you're looking for a bigger a bigger risk, you go Rodon. Is Chris Taylor a potential target? I don't think so, because you'd have to give up the qualifying offer for him. News Conforto's market is super quiet. Is that just news, or is that just what like we know to this point? Because it has been quiet. I honestly think if Conforto doesn't stay with the Mets, I think he would go to the White Sox. I really hope he does, as someone that's a White Sox fan of the AL. So that way I can continue rooting for my boy Conforto. So Tower, I got on the PJ with Freddie today and did my magic to convince him to come here on the cheap. Need to pick as proof. With Freddie Freeman. Court, just tag me on Twitter or something, whatever that may be. There have been reports on Lindor's and Steve Cohen's ear and that they have been a close relationship. Oh, they have. Lindor's definitely had a say in Baez, but rightfully so. Stro says the source is me. Okay. I don't know what Stroh's doing here. I really don't know. Core. The fact that you went out your way to Photoshop, that's actually hilarious. Shadow Core Python. That's funny. I doubt on Scherzer because he does not like the Mets. I agree, but money talks. So we'll talk enough in the end, maybe. And if it doesn't, then it wouldn't be surprising at all either. So I know I keep saying we'll see, but damn it, it holds true. LGM Andrew, thank you for chiming in, my man. I would prefer Schwarber. Schwarber doesn't know how to play defense. So no, I don't want Schwarber unless he's DH. That guy can't field if it smacked him across the face. Parents made you quit Discord. Discord? I don't even have a Discord. What are you talking about? What's going on with Robbie Cano? He's week to week dealing with like some back injury. I can care less about Robbie Cano right now, if I'm being quite honest with you. Stroh's saying he thinks the front office prioritized Gosman and others over him. Yeah, and he's right if reports are holding true. Martino reported earlier today. Mets have interest in Stroman, but I won't be surprised if they don't have him number one, given the other guys available right now. And Scherzer, I would hope, is the main reason for that, if anything. If not, then I think that's a little bit more up in the air as to why you're doing that. I would love Stroh back, though. I can't emphasize enough. I've been a heavy advocate for him to return. If the Mets can get it done, for sure. I'm shocked I haven't been yelled at by my boss for harassing Cohen on Twitter. I just don't think your boss either notices nor cares, to be honest with you, Thomas. You'd be the one of like hundreds of thousands of people that have said things to Steve Cohen off Twitter. If we don't get Stroh, I'm calling my congressman. I'm not sure that's going to do much for you, Tim, but go ahead. Mets need to stop putting all their eggs in one basket like with Barrow last year. I agree. I don't think they're doing that this year, which is great, is what I will say. Yeah, they definitely need to make sure that they avoid a situation like Barrow last year in the sense of, going all in on one guy and prioritizing him, making you lose out on other options, maybe plans B, C, or D, right? Just to lose him in the end, The Mets need to make sure that they have, I said this earlier, I think I said this in the Escobar live stream. You got to make sure that you have, Epler's got to be on multiple phones. We got to get everyone on phones. If you're working with the Mets, you got to be on the phone. You got to have all these options available to you, right? Because if you hone in on just one, odds are you're going to cause problems, especially in the scenario where you fall short, like the most recent one was the Steven Matz ordeal. But I want Epler to have both hands on. I want, like I said earlier, I want his foot having a phone on it. I want everything. He's got to have a lot of phones on. Max Scherzer and Gosman, or Scherzer and Stroman? Scherzer and Stroman. Stroman's been a more consistent pitcher in his career than Gosman has. And Stroman's a little younger too. So I'd take the safer bet on if they both land on like similar deals, like term wise, I would want Stroh over Gosman. But it's not big. It's not big at all. By no means will I be upset if the Mets get Kevin Gosman. I'll be very much in favor of it. I'll be very excited too. That'll be huge for the rotation. Is it smart for the Mets to let it be known that fans or players that they are prioritizing one player over another in these meetings? Would you prioritize one of your children over another? Here's the thing, though, Jay. This is just a speculation from Stroman. He doesn't have anything to confirm it. This is just how he feels right now. So I don't think there's been anything public that's coming out with truly what the Mets are prioritizing. I know that Martino reported it, but at the same time, how truthful that is to what they're doing, we don't know. Because no one thought that the Mets were signing Escobar or Canha today, other than the New York Mets. So you have to keep things in perspective here. Who is Mark Canha? Is that what you're asking, Sima? He's a very, very good outfielder that gets on base a lot. That's what he is. Mark Canha looks like Bud Norris. I would like Alex Cobb if he doesn't sign with the Giants. I think he's a low risk, high upside type starter in the back of your rotation. Cedric Mullins will cost an arm and a leg, something that the Mets can't afford right now because they barely have an arm prospect wise. So no, do not expect Cedric Mullins to go to the New York Mets. Couple years down the line, you'll see them be able to use prospect capital to their benefit, including a big draft coming up with all the picks they're going to have, but they're not there yet. And people need to understand that, they don't have the prospects to just do all these crazy trades. They need to be very strategic about trades that they make to begin with. And guys, we are getting even closer to 400 likes. So if we can get there by the end of the stream, that would really be appreciated, folks. And again, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying the stream as always, folks. This has been a great one so far. Really, really appreciate everyone, the donations, the likes, the subscriptions, all that stuff. And just know that when it talks about all the news, all the rumors with the New York Mets, this is always the place to be. As may you know, but I know we got some new viewers in here. This is my job. I do this for a living. I absolutely love it. We're almost a year in, starting December 1st is the first video I did on WardyNYM. I would have never thought that I'd be in the position of 10,000 subscribers and all these other things. So just know how grateful and blessed I am to be in the position that I am. We will be having a big giveaway coming on the channel next week, so stay tuned for that. Hoping to get either a little video out about it or as part of a live stream or something. We have another big video regarding the number 10 as well in connection with 10K subs, so make sure to look out for that as well. It will be indicative, however, on the moves that happen this weekend, so as a big hint towards that. But just know how blessed and grateful I am for everything that you guys do support-wise. So just further thanking you guys so much. Do I still have the Ranger channel? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have a new pod coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. Gosman to Mets tomorrow. Screenshot this. All right, Z. If it happens, you got to make sure you're in the stream to, make sure that, you confirmed it. I personally don't want Stroman back just because of his attitude. Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you're just focused on attitude, you're not focused, right? I don't agree with Stroman on everything at all. I don't agree with a lot of players on everything at all. But there's a difference between how they are personality-wise or just how they are social media-wise and how they are as a player. All I give a damn about is how you are as a player and if you're impacting this team positively or negatively. Stroman has impacted this team positively with his performance and his clubhouse presence. So long as he continues to do that, that's all I care about at the end of the day. I want this team to win championships, not worried about them and, their little personality traits. I can literally give two Fs about that. I want to win. That's all I want. That's all any true fan should want, is to help a team win. Please get rid of Familia. That's something I actually advocate with. And I've talked about that. I'm sure Baez will sign with the Mets, and then they can concentrate on trying to sign Scherzer. I know the Mets will make a blockbuster move. I hope so too, Robert. Roberto, great member on the channel. Biscuit time. We're not there yet, Daniel. No. I'll go off air when I eat my biscuits. $5 dono here from Antone. Thank you so much for the $5 dono, my man. Ryan Mauricio seems like a trade chip since he's blocked. I agree. I said this last offseason. I think that if there's any big prospect that the Mets could part with, it starts with Ronnie Mauricio because he doesn't have there's no room for him right now. I agree with that, but I know the Mets are very reluctant with parting with him. So it would have to be at the right price and something that, would have to be something massive. Thank you so much for the $5 dono, though. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Tim, I know you don't like Familia. Imagine Twitter with the 86 Mets, we'd want to get rid of everyone. Thank you, Vin. Thank you. Yes, because everyone's Saints, right? Koala with the $10 donation. Congrats on the success. Been lurking for like 6 months. You deserve it. Oh, thank you so much, Koala. I really, really appreciate that. I'm glad that you came out of the shadows from lurking for so long. Really, really appreciate it, my man. Hype in the chat of Koala with the beyond generous $10 donation. God bless you, my man. Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving as well. Mets finally gained some moves some moves that I'm very happy about. I hope that they continue for sure. But yeah, I'm just very, very happy with how everything has transpired so far. Brooklyn Mets, what's up, my man? Great subscriber on the channel. How you doing, buddy? What do I think happens to McNeil? I don't know. I think he's a huge question mark right now. I gotta be honest with you. James with the kind words. Thank you so much as always, my man. Scherzer's much better than Stroh. It's not even close. That's why. I mean, the Mets are stuck between who they should prioritize, Scherzer or Stroh. If you're basing off of trying to win now, you cannot deny that Scherzer would be the better route for you. But with saying that, if the Mets are a team that simply can't get Scherzer because he doesn't want to come here, then yeah, Stroh's right towards the top of that list of people they should prioritize. Who's front runner for manager? There's no one that's a front runner for manager right now. Manager situation is going to get resolved when the lockout happens. That's when Billy Upward plans to hone in on it. Do I still think the Mets pursuing Starling Marte? Yeah, no, absolutely. It's already been reported that they're still in on him after the Canha report has happened. Finally found the live chat message board. Awesome, Brooklyn. The live stream is going to be wrapping up fairly soon, though, so I apologize on that, Brooklyn Mets. But again, hype to everybody in the chat. I hope you guys have been enjoying the streams. We're going to go for just about another 5 or tops 10 minutes or so, guys. So like I said, if you just have any more natural questions, by all means, continue to ask away. We'll see if this is the last time we're live streaming tonight or not. We might be, but again, by no means would I be upset if we have to get back here. Where it just feels like more news is going to come out tonight. I hope so. Again, not against it. But you boys got to eat, all right? I haven't eaten one damn meal today. Actually, am I wrong? Have I eaten something today? My days are going by so quick. I don't know, man. Maybe I ate one thing today. I know I had cookies. Had some leftover Thanksgiving chocolate chip walnut cookies, so there's that. Man, I don't think I've eaten a meal today. I'm crazy. Did I eat a meal today? Oh, I had pizza. I did have pizza for lunch. Proper diet, as you see here. It is 11 p.m. Yeah, it is. It is. I had biscuits. I completely forgot I had my biscuits. See, this is what happens when you do live streams the way that I do. You forget about everything. My brain gets fried, but it is what it is. It's part of the grind, baby. Part of the grind. Hey, what's up, Jack in the Box? How you doing? What about Suzuki? I love Suzuki. I just, I don't know what's going to happen with Suzuki right now. I've already seen Stroman's Twitter. I'm aware. Marte is a legit leadoff hitter. Marte, Canha, and Nemo is literally the on-base outfield of the set. Like, that is the best on-base outfield in all baseball. And you can't tell me otherwise if you have those 3 in there. I agree with you, Brooklyn. Must have been a forgettable biscuit. It was a little cold. I like my biscuits hot with some butter, so it was a good biscuit, but definitely, lower on my biscuit scale, if I'm being quite honest with you. Not as an insult to the biscuit, because I know that biscuit, took its life from me. Wardy, whenever you don't eat, stay hydrated with water with lemon. Exactly, Jubilee. That's why I'm drinking Mountain Dew right now, so I stay awake. And I'm joking. Yes, water's huge. I try to drink plenty of water as well. Joe, I like the way you think. McNeil in outfield will be better than Marte. He's a higher on base. I agree. I disagree with you, Louis, because Marte is by far a better outfielder, and Marte could be put in center in the short term at least. They have Nemo in left. Nemo more comfortable in left, less risk of injury, diving around in center. Marte better arm than anyone else, would be in center and could handle center just fine. So I respectfully disagree. I don't think that McNeil would be a huge liability in right field, but by no means would he be better than Marte, in my opinion. I think losing Stroman to the Angels is actually pretty feasible. So, again, prepare yourself for the worst, but hope for the best, right? Mets fan Michael, no need to apologize, my man. Thank you for chopping in. Yeah, I love this. I love the signing too. I really, really do. I think this is a great move. I did see Stroman's tweets. Yes, I'm aware. How much for a good medical staff? Yeah, that's a good question, right, Jesse? I don't know who's going to be manager right now. It's a big question mark. We'll get more clarity on that once the lockout begins, and that's when we'll talk about more. Can a manager be hired during lockout? Yes. Yes. Yeah, because that doesn't impact CBA at all. That impacts players union in the league. Last time I checked, managers aren't players. Sign Castellanos more than likely not happening because he has compensation pick connected to him. Especially if they get Marte. Castellanos is not happening. I would love him at DH, but I don't see it happening. Have a bit of concern that Lamp might get a bit right-handed. I wouldn't put too much concern in that. I mean, Escobar is a switch hitter, and Canha's right. I mean, it's not the end of the world. What Lockout does is it just means that no teams can make free agency signings until the lockout's done. And it could go a couple days, could go a couple weeks, could go a couple months. A lot of uncertainty. How about them Rangers? Them Rangers be slapping is what the Rangers be doing. Shout out to my Rangers, baby. Best team in NY. And I know a lot of Islanders fans are going to be upset by that, but, you know, let's not lie here. Gotta say it like it is. I respect you Islanders fans because I know a lot of you are Mets fans watching this, but that's as far as I go. What's my favorite TV show and favorite movie? Favorite TV show? I don't have one. Favorite TV shows in general, though, are Breaking Bad, Narcos, The Sopranos, The Wire. Those are my favorite shows. Favorite movie? Probably Goodfellas, especially because my cousin was in it. But I have a lot of favorite movies and stuff like that. Rangers are elite to the game Sunday. Yep. Knicks, love the Knicks. Did the Knicks win tonight? Oh, wait, no, they play tomorrow. Pretty sure they play tomorrow. If Mets get Baez too, we'll have 2 switch hitters and 430 plus home run hitting infielders. Pretty scary. Yeah, you're damn right. I like the way you think, Jay Martinez. You're on the right mindset right now. Oh, they lost tonight? Damn. See, I haven't even been able to pay attention. Who did they lose to, guys? That sucks. They got dominated by Phoenix. All right, at least they lost to a good team, but that's still unfortunate. Knicks did not do good against the Suns last year, so I'm not really that surprised that they lost. I bet Chris Paul went off on them too. My cousin played the main character in Goodfellas by Ray Liotta. My cousin was the younger version of him in the movie. You know, when he was growing up. That's my cousin. I'm not close with him, but he's my cousin. Lost by 21. Sheesh. That's not good. D-Book had a lot. Bing Bong is dead. I love Bing Bong. I don't care. I'm going to keep saying it. What do I think of Starling Marte contract? I think contract is probably going to look I think it's going to be 4 years. 4 years, $75 million. Maybe 80. Look, if the Mets could get Marcus Semien because something happens with Javi Baez, I would be more than content with Semien, but I don't think it's likely. Michael, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that, my man. Would I do 5 for 100 for Marte? No, I wouldn't. I think that's overstepping. Now, just because I wouldn't do it doesn't mean that I would be like crazy upset if the Mets did it. But I know that the back half of that contract would not look pretty. So they would be really all in on those first couple years. Did I see the Stro tweet? Yes, I did. And I don't know where we are on the like count, folks, but as always, help us get a 400 plus likes by the end of the stream. Always appreciate it. And help us get a 11K for the next short-term goal here on WardyNYM. Again, you guys know the drill. Any breaking news, we will, of course, cover it right away. Got big content coming out. We got a giveaway coming out. You know, a little bit of getting close to the holidays. We got a big giveaway coming out. So stay tuned for all that fun stuff. And again, thank you all so much for thank you all so much in advance for the support, guys. Love and appreciate you all. I know, Jesse. I'm not looking for the lockout either. I'm not. But, you know, with saying that, folks, that is just about to wrap up the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. We went a while. I feel like fans will love Canha. I agree, Tim. I do. Yeah, guys, we're going to wrap up the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Love this one. Went an hour and a half tonight. And in a nutshell, love this pickup for the Mets. Mark Canha breeds outfield depth. A big on base came like Brandon Nemo. They can have in the top of the lineup and get creative on how you utilize them in 2022. But we'll see if we get more news tonight or tomorrow. You know, I think we're going to get some action this weekend, no less. So big pickups in Eduardo Escobar, Mark Canha, Now let's see what's next for the Mets. Maybe I'll be back live tonight. Maybe I'll be back live within the next day or so. Hope to see you in 20 minutes. I hope to see you in 20 minutes too. That means that something good happened, right? So thank you again, folks. I love you all so much. Always know that, and expect more great content on the channel very, very soon. Have a good night, folks. Stay up until, it's 12 a.m. in West Time, California. So probably have to stay up till 2, but it might be worth it in the end, folks. So hold the line. More moves are coming. Have a good night, folks. And no, Keenan Mark Canha does not suck. Don't be a casual. All right, folks. Have a good one. Let's go, Mets.